2 billion people across the world consume liquor. A small percentage of those fall into the category of excess. But whether you drink a little or you drink a lot, every drop of liquor tells a different story. Are we rolling? Just let me get my pipe lit. It will look way better. Just wait. All right, Jim Leahy here. Sorry, take two. James Leahy with Liquor Stories. Today we're going to be liquorizing with a Bim'Jean 100-month-old bourbon. First thing you do with bourbon is you take a look and you see if it's clear. You can't see if it's clear if a cut crystal glass. That's a nice glass. Then you test the nose. After you've tested the nose, you'd have a little sippy poo. After you have one little sippy poo, you gotta have two sippy poos. Oh, this is very special. This is a 100-month-old bourbon by Bim'Jean. And I've been collecting this. This is one of the first things I ever had. It cost me I had to trade, never mind. I tell you what. Oh, wait a second. I forgot something. Jim Beam here with Liquor Stories. It's okay. Take three. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to James Leahy's Liquor Stories. Today we're going to talk about Bim'Jean. It's a 100-month-old bourbon. Bourbon is one of the most incredible drinks that you... Oh, hello. Yeah, I certainly will. Thank you very much. Okay, this is take 11. Fuck the pipe. This is Bim'Jean. Okay, take 12. Good afternoon, ladies and... No. Take 12 and a half, okay? Good afternoon. No. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is James Leahy with Liquor Stories. See, I got that perfect. You know, this... Take 14. Jim, I gotta drink this before I get pissed. By the time I get to Phoenix, you're gonna be there.
The thoughts and ideas expressed in this podcast are solely those of the authors and guests of the podcast. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Soberless Thoughts.
That right there is Alex Gorley. That man across the table from me is Michael Odenbeck.
And these are our
Soberless Thoughts.
Alex.
Yes.
Let me tell you something real quick before we start here.
Learn me something.
Dude, I went into this house on my job.
Yeah.
I knocked on this door, and this old lady, it's like, hey, yeah, can you bring it? It was this big box. And I had it up on my shoulder, and she's like, can you carry that inside for me? And I said, and this is something out of a horror movie. Okay.
Yeah.
So I go walking in the door, and so I got it's like on my right shoulder. So everything to the right of me, I can't see, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's standing to the left of me. And then I see her husband coming down the hallway to the left of me. And he's like, yeah, just sit that. And they're both I don't know, in their 60s, I'd say.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, go ahead, sit that down right there. I'm like, okay. So I set it down, and as soon as I set it down and my vision is unobscured to the right, there's this thing standing to my right in the foyer. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like a wax figure, I want to say, of a teenage girl.
Oh my God. Okay.
But it completely just stuns me because wasn't expecting to see anybody standing there. So I trip and I look over and I'm like, whoa. And at first, because it's super lifelike, I'm like, like I almost say something to it.
Yeah.
But then I realize this is not real, right?
Yeah.
So then I look back at them and they're like, yeah, that's our daughter.
Oh my God. Dude, I was sitting here thinking that the whole time.
That's what she said. That's our daughter. I'm like, yeah, that face. I made that face. And I was like, okay, nice. I gotta go. Bye.
So wait, yeah. And the next thing is like, why don't you stay and be her husband?
Dude, I sprinted to my truck.
Oh man. Yeah. The only reason, well, that or weirder shit, but I could think of for two older people to have a wax figure just standing there. Now, part of me is like, is it something that was made because of grief, or was it just like they didn't have any kids and they just like, let's just make one out of wax? It won't be creepy and freak out the neighbors.
I hope it's the latter, because if it was like their daughter that had passed away or something, and they just have a wax figure of her with this big creepy smile standing in the foyer that they see as they walk in the door. I couldn't. There's no way I couldn't handle that.
Yeah. No, it would that's like if I don't know, man, that's so creepy. It's like it sounds like you said, the beginning of a horror movie. Like if you take that scenario and put it in a movie format, and let's say that's what happened. We don't know for sure. But let's say that happened. Like she passed away, they lose it, they grief, they make a lifelike figure of her, but she also had a brother. That brother in the movie is going to grow up and put on some kind of mask and mutilate people. Yeah. There's no way that's not happening.
He is 100% a serial killer.
Yeah. And it's because they just keep putting all the attention on her, and he just wants to be seen. And he I don't know, fucking goes out in the middle of the night and he smells something that reminds him of his mom or something. He's like, hey, you love me now, Mom? And just
or imagine if somebody like tried to break into their house.
Oh, they would shit their own colon out, man. Like if I was walking through and I ran up on that, I would shit my own, like my liver would fall out. Because
maybe that's what it is. It's just
a deterrent.
Security system.
Yeah. And even make it fun. Like I feel bad because I'm like, what if it is, man? I feel bad. Like it is, but then if it's like if they just didn't want kids, and all of a sudden later they're like, yeah, let's just make one, or for whatever reason, if they couldn't have them, people do that kind of stuff, man. Granted, this isn't the same realm of things, but I mean, we've all seen the dudes that have the doll girlfriend online. Hell, they made movies about it, man.
Yeah.
That definitely beats the shit out of the story I was going to tell you. Also kind of goes down the same rabbit hole, but in this one, I'm the victim. What is it? The other day, I decided I'm going to go, I've got these weights and I've been wanting to do a little working out. So I was like, I need a bench. And every weight bench I look on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or whatever, it's always like $50, $60, which isn't bad, or even up to 100, which isn't bad. Like if you go buy one new, it's a little bit more than that. Well, one day I've just been super cheap, just been trying to save as much money lately, and I stumbled across one on Facebook Marketplace for $15.
Oh wow.
I'm like, hell to the yeah. And they had just put it on there. And I'm thinking, they don't know what they have. Because that happens all the time. I bought some weights off a guy who I don't know if you ever shopped for weights on these marketplaces. It's insane to me that like they charge $1.50 per 1 pound for a weight.
That's wild, dude.
So like a 10-pound weight is going to cost you, one of them is going to cost you $15. Two of them is going to cost, 30. Well, once you get up to 50-pound weights, like if you're doing that, I mean, God, I mean, you're literally spending $75 a weight, and then that's, $150 for 2 weights. I'm literally buying things that don't do anything, but just weigh heavy,
Right.
what they say they weigh.
Right.
And I can't grip my mind around it. It pisses me off. Right. And I've pissed people off too. I was like, I know you got 2 50-pound weights, but I'll give you $50 for them. They're like, no, because if you go everywhere on the internet, they're all charging at least $1 to $1.50. And I'm like, look, man, you can wait around for that, but the money is going to deteriorate, or I could just give you this $50 now and I'll take them off your hands and you don't have to dick with it anymore.
Right.
No one's agreed to it because they're all like, oh, I know what I got. Right. Same kind of thing with this weight bench. I messaged this guy and he goes, $15. I'm like, oh man, it's awesome. It's one of those that lays back, you can lean up and all that stuff.
Right.
So he tells me the address and I look it up on my phone, and I'm in Lexington, and I'm like, he pops up. He's at this trailer park that the last time I remember hearing anything about that trailer park was someone got shot at the gas station. That was the last thing I remember, like the last memory I have of this. Now, this has been a couple years, but it was like, yeah, it was over drugs, and yeah, they're like 2 people died and someone's da-da-da, right? So I'm like, sweet, can't wait to go over there. So I go over there, and it is everything I was thinking it was gonna be. It is like, don't get me wrong, I've been in and out of trailer parks. I've had friends that live there, but like some are worse than others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's just the way it is. It's the nature of the beast. And this is one, it's like, it's halfway nice, but then you'll see some, like, I don't know. I saw some, like 2 people in a Suburban that just looked sketchy, and they were definitely driving sketchily. Let me put it that way. Like they pulled in and they just kind of sat there and looked at a house, and then they see me, and then they just back up and then just drive away. I'm like, okay. Did I just interrupt a robbery? Right.
They weren't meeting to buy something from me off of Marketplace.
Yeah. Or they were going to go in somewhere and try to, buy some things. So I go over to this guy's house, and he comes out, and he seems like an all right dude. Like I looked at his Facebook profile. He's got like wife and kids, and he's just like, normal kind of everyday hardworking guy, that kind of thing. He is covered in like tattoos, so he does have a little bit of a sketch factor, but I'm like, I grew up with dudes like this. He's fine. Because I always get sketched out at these transactions when I meet random strangers, especially at their house. Like I was talking to this girl I work with today, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm so worried like they're gonna like kidnap me and do this. And I'm like, I always think they're baiting me to get me over there. And then like, I always picture 4 guys jumping out of the bushes and beating the shit out of me and taking all my money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's always what runs through my mind. So this guy comes out, it's sitting on his front porch already, which is also like where a lot of stuff is sitting, is on his front porch. And I go up there and I look at it, and there's like one of the rubber pieces on the bottom had been chewed up. I'm guessing the guy had, if I had to guess by the teeth marks on this piece of plastic, he definitely had at least 1, maybe 2 pit bulls. Right. And I looked at that, and then he goes, yeah, there's another one here. And he like pulls the thing back, and it's not the top of it, but the back. One of the dogs had like chewed on it. Right. And he goes, yeah,
Right.
Sorry, my dog chewed on this. And I was like, well, awesome. I was like, and that's why it's $15.
Right.
And I looked at it, and I'm like, you know what? It's doing what it's there for. It's just I'm going to sit on it.
Right.
Like it looks good from the top as long as you don't actually like look deeply into it.
Yeah.
So I end up like, he's like, is that all right, man? I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I'm just sitting on it, man. For $15, I can't beat that price. I was like, I'm not trying to show it off to anybody. So
Right.
So that transaction's over. So I'll buy it, I take it, put it in the back of my Jeep. Well, I'm running out of gas. And then I'm like, man, I got to go to this gas station over here. So I go to the gas station at the end
gas
of the
station where people get shot.
Yes, I went to that gas station. And I'm standing there and I'm thinking about that. Like, man, that's crazy. People got shot here. Like, not too crazy long ago. And as I'm sitting there, this like all white, old school conversion van with like the doors where like there's no windows in it, just the driver and the passenger window and obviously the windshield, but nothing else. And this guy just slowly creeps by and is staring at me real fucking hard. And I'm eyeballing him back, right? And then he pulls into the gas station and then goes around the pump I'm at to get on the other side. And at first I'm standing with my back towards the pump, and as the van turns, I start to turn my whole body because I was like, whatever I do, I don't want this guy behind me.
Right.
Just the ultimate sketch, like the entire time, like, and this is where this guy grabs me and throws me in the back of the van and violates me brutally.
Yes.
And
you wake up on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
2 months later.
2 months later with half a kidney and directions how to get home. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, what didn't help his cause, I mean, he could have been like some guy that laid carpet or something. That was his work van, but he got out, you know, he's wearing like weird getup, like plaid shorts, a wife beater, and he gets out for whatever reason and he's got a belt in his hand.
Just holding the belt. Just
holding it and like holding it tight, like folded up. Like I'm like, is he about to hit me with that? Like, and he pulls up to the gas station and he didn't get any gas. He just gets out, has this belt, like just holding on to it. Like, I'm like, God damn. And then like he kind of like still kind of looking at me and just walks by and he goes into the gas station. And then I go, I need to get the fuck out of here. So I basically get my gas, pay for it at the pump, obviously, and then I just hop in it and I just hightail it out of there. I'm like, that's just too weird. For someone to stare at me that hard and get out with a belt, I'm like, okay. I think we've had enough of this trailer park. I'll see you all in a couple years.
That's right.
Yeah.
Time to hit the road.
Yeah. Me and my weight bench. That smells weird for some reason.
This next tune is called Little Too Stoned. Well, I'm a little too stoned to pour myself a drink. Well, I'm a little too gone to care about what you think. It's a fucked up generation like our nation's never known. There's a whole lot more like me, just a little too stoned. Well, pool hall's been around since '69. They're gonna burn it down and build it up just to make an extra dime. But I'm just a billiard ball that's chipped and scratched and soaked in smoking wine. Well, I'm a little too stoned to keep up with the times. Well, I'm a little too stoned to pour myself a drink. Well, I'm a little too gone to care about what you think. It's a fucked up generation like our nation's never known. There's a whole lot more like me, just a little too stoned. But I ain't wasting time here chasing trends or fads. Well, I do believe that good outweighs the bad. Well, so read me all the rules, and you can read between the lines. 'Cause I'm a little too stoned to lose my peace of mind. I'm a little too stoned to pour myself a drink. Well, I'm a little too gone to care about what you think. It's a fucked up generation like all nations never known. There's a whole lot more like me, just a little too stoned. There's a whole lot more like me. There's some folks like me. There's a whole lot more like me, just a little too stoned.
All right, dude. Speaking of like buying shit with Facebook Marketplace, it seems like my wife always has me go to the Target, like the local Target parking lot, right?
Yeah.
And that is the go-to spot, I think, for like 90% of the people that live in this vicinity. Because every time I go there, there's like half a dozen cars all parked in random spots at the very end of the parking lot. And then you see all these different random transactions going on. And I was just telling her the other day, like, if I was a drug dealer, like this would be the perfect spot to go.
Of course.
Just like meet me at the Target parking lot.
Just
I'll give it to you in like a stuffed animal or something.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, go run by an old antique mall, find what's the cheapest thing you can find, buy as many of them you can.
Just grab something from the Dollar Tree and come over.
And then just like have someone like, hey, you got that $40? Yeah. And here's your typewriter, wink.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And like, that actually is a good ass plan.
Yeah.
And then the cops roll up. You just got like a car full of random antiques. You're like, what? I'm Craigslisting, man. This is my side hustle.
That's right. Facebook Marketplace, dude.
Yeah. Where you been at? I don't sell drugs.
I'm on the up and up.
Yeah.
All right, Alex. What are we drinking tonight?
All right. We're getting back into cocktails a little bit. I know it's been little by little, but we are drinking tonight the Tequila Sunrise. So, for all you cocktail connoisseurs out there, what you need is a shot of tequila. You need some orange juice, and then you need to essentially shake that up, pour it in a glass full of ice. Then you'll take a little bit of grenadine and slowly pour it down the side of the glass. And if you do it right, it should have a nice little sunburst kind of look, red on the bottom, orange on top. I actually lighten mine up with a little bit of soda water to kind of keep it light and fluffy, not as acidic and sweet. So, yeah.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Well, let's try it out.
All right. Oddly enough, I don't think I've actually ever had a Tequila Sunrise.
Well, then we haven't had it before on the podcast.
Because I think I remember, all right, when we were having this conversation before this podcast, we were trying to decide if we've had this or not. And I think I realized what it was. I made Kathy Perkins a tequila-based drink that was very similar to a Tequila Sunrise, but it wasn't a Tequila Sunrise. That was her own mixture. But I forget how much tequila goes well with oranges. Like triple sec is orange liqueur, makes sense, but orange juice and tequila is pretty tasty, man.
Oh, yeah. Dude, screwdrivers.
So yeah,
That's why people swear by those things.
Yeah, man. Well, that's vodka, but yeah.
Is vodka orange juice is a screwdriver?
Yeah.
I thought it was tequila.
Mm-mm. But you could do tequila. I don't see why not.
I knew a guy, he used to always pour like a shot of tequila into his Mountain Dew bottle.
Interesting.
And then kind of like twirl it around a little bit and then just drink that Mountain Dew bottle. And he swore by it. He swore by it.
I don't see why that it wouldn't be bad. I mean, dude, it's like essentially you're making like the best way I could describe it is like a redneck margarita.
Yeah.
Like let's do this, okay? I'm gonna make frozen redneck margaritas one day, and it's basically just gonna be tequila and Mountain Dew and ice in a blender. And we're gonna see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got all those ingredients. Alex, how does that taste? Do you like that? What's your on a scale of 0 to James or 10 to James Bond?
Yeah.
What would you give a tequila sunrise? And what does it taste like? Is it effervescent?
It's citrusy, and the sweetness of the grenadine, when I finally got down to it, actually helped round it off. So it's well balanced, at least the one I made. But yeah, it's definitely like, I don't know, man. It's like breakfast tequila is what it reminds me of. Like, I feel like we should be having huevos rancheros and drinking tequila sunrises is what I feel like.
Could we have tequila sunrises while the rest of the family has their mimosas?
Yes. We're going to get way more turned up than they will. But yeah, it's pretty tasty, man, dude. I'd give it a solid, like if you got a real good one, I'd say almost like an 8.
Oh,
like
nice.
I also am a huge fan of orange juice. Can't drink it as much as I used to because I'm getting old and I get heartburn. But I love orange juice.
Yeah, man. Orange juice is great. Actually, I take vitamin C pills, or not pills, but chewable vitamins.
Yeah.
Every day because I don't ever have orange juice in the house, and when I do, it's always for like the wife and the kids.
Yeah.
So I don't ever really get to drink it, but you got to have that vitamin C.
Yeah, man.
Alex, it was so hard editing last week's podcast with you chewing ice constantly.
I know. That's my problem with I know. I kept turning my head away. I was like, all right, I got to chew this. It fell in my mouth. I can't spit it out. It's like a nervous tick of mine. I'll try to stay away from the ice cubes. That's why I do that. Can you still hear it when I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought you could. So is good to know.
But then you were like, you would turn away like that, but then you would come back and you'd be like in mid sentence, like, I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. It's I don't know why. I like chewing ice, man. Especially one, I like the pellet ice, the good ice to chew on.
Yeah,
that's like too good. Like you chew too much of it and hurt your teeth. But I love like ice that's been gently melted, especially in alcohol, and then you're still getting a little bit of the flavor of the cocktail that's left over.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I'm like, oh, it's got me. It's my ice chewing.
Hope it ain't no time real soon, but I know one thing's true. One of these days, the good Lord's calling me. And y'all ain't gotta go to church. Use my truck, don't rent no hearse. You ain't gotta dig 6 feet, I just need 3. You bury me upside down, right in the heart of this old town. Here lies a man with one thing left to say. Put my middle fingers up to all the folks who said I was trash. Bury me upside down so the world can kiss my ass. fixes and my bones, teams that I bet on at launch, every bartender that ever cut me off. Let me get this off my chest. Let me make one last request before y'all lay this old boy down to rest. Bury me upside down, right in the heart of this old town. Here lies a man with one thing left to say. Put my middle fingers up to all the folks who said I was trash. Bury me upside down so the world can kiss my ass. And if there ever comes a day when they stop hating on my name, well, I might roll over in my grave. But until that day, you bury me upside down, right in the heart of this old town. Here lies a man with one thing left to say. Put my middle fingers up to all the folks who said I was trash. Bury me upside down so the world can kiss my ass. Yeah, bury me upside down so the world can kiss my ass.
All right. Tonight, Alex,
Yes.
I have 10 soberless thoughts
10. Count them
That-
10.
that I have randomly throughout the weeks, years. I don't know how long this goes back in my notes, but quite a while.
Yeah.
And I figure it's about time that we answer these. These are like questions that are burning a hole in my membrane that we need to finally get to the bottom of. And there's nobody better to help me get to the bottom of these than my brother, Alex Corley.
That's right. I'm
So
here.
I'm starting from the bottom of this, and I'll work my way up as I always do.
All right.
All right. If the early bird gets the worm, right?
Yep.
So why do good things come to those who wait?
Ooh. Wow. That's like one of those things you tell a robot that is about to like destroy mankind, and you're like, I need a matrix that's gonna blow its brains out. If the early bird gets the worm, but
Then why do good things come to those who wait?
I mean, whew, that's a tough one, man. I mean, it's like one of those, like, I guess, like, you know, you get up and wait. It's a bunch of hurry up and wait. There's the
Hurry up.
answer.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
The military has perfected this.
Yeah.
That's something that we used to constantly say when I was in the Air Force. Hurry up and wait. Everybody's saying hurry up and wait.
Oh, yeah. I've had a lot of jobs like that. Man, it's really like making me think way too hard on this thing. So, like, all right, the early bird gets the worm, but what is it?
But why do good things come to those who wait?
Good things come to those who wait. Oh. Because the good things come for those who wait because of the early birds getting the worm.
Oh, and the worms bringing them, the birds bringing them the worm.
Yeah. It could be talking about like parasitic relationships, man. Like one person is the alpha that gets up and does all the work. It's like what was that book, Chicken Little?
Yeah.
The Sky's Falling? Is that what it was? Or what was it? No, there was a different one that I don't know what book this was, but I remember reading it as a kid. It was about like it was kind of like that, but it was like a chicken that was like, hey, I'm gonna grow, I need someone to help me till up a garden. And the dog says, no, I don't want to. And then the chicken tills the garden. And then it's like, I need to plant the seeds. And then asks the cat, will you help me plant the seeds? And the cat's like, no, I don't want to do that. And then like it keeps going. And basically this chicken grows wheat, harvests it, grinds it into flour, and then makes bread. And then at the end, everyone's like, ooh, can I have some of that bread? And the chicken's like, no, I don't want to because you all didn't help me. And then everyone got sad. And I think the chicken ended up giving it to him anyway or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's it right there.
Dude, if I remember right, the reason why I thought of this was I was sitting around on my back deck and I saw a robin, a female robin, was like just chilling on the branch. And I'm staring at this robin and it's just like chilling, just looking around for like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And then I see this male robin come fly over, land right next to the female robin, has like a little worm in his mouth, and then hands it in, like puts it into the mouth of the female robin, and then flies away. And then the female robin just sits there eating her worm.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, he went, got the worm, came over, and she just sat around waiting, and he brought it to her. I think it's an analogy for marriage, dude.
I was sitting there thinking that. Hey man, she probably sit on some eggs. She was protecting them kids, you know.
No, she was just chilling on the
Just
branch.
chilling.
Yeah.
Maybe it was part of the like it maybe it was more of a metaphor for dating or like engagement, like I'll give you worms. Ooh, just one? And like, yeah, here, take this one. Here, I'll go get you another one.
All right. Number 9 on my list. Did because supposedly, according to the Bible, God created Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah.
So do Adam and Eve have belly buttons?
Oh, damn. I'm gonna say no. You know what? I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I'm thinking they don't.
Yeah. Adam and Eve definitely do not have belly buttons. But do you think they were freaked out when they had kids?
And the kids had belly buttons?
Wait, actually, let's just pause right there. They wait. I've never thought of this before, but Adam and Eve having a child. First of all,
Yeah.
no expectations. Don't know what it. They don't even know, like, do they even know that they get pregnant? Like, they can get pregnant. They can make more of them. And they're like, what? Like, or is it like one day Adam's like, what's happening to you? Your stomach is getting huge.
Yeah.
And it just keeps. And then one day she's like, oh my God, I'm dying. And then she's like, pushes out a child.
Before she thinks that she's dying, she feels something inside of her belly moving.
Yes. Like, what is that? Is that from the apple? What the shit? Oh my God. Like, that is such a wild thing to think. Like, two people have never had a kid, that had never experienced it, never seen it.
Yeah.
And then they have to have one.
Right.
And then he's got to say, no one else, they ain't no doctors.
Right.
Like, he's just got to, like, catch this thing.
Yeah. And how long do they carry that baby around with the umbilical cord and the sack still attached to it? Because they don't know to cut it off.
Yeah. They just like, is it supposed to just be attached? Is this it? Like, you just keep going?
Maybe Cain and Abel, maybe Cain was the baby and Abel was just the sack. And when Cain killed Abel, really, it was just him cutting it off. Like,
Cutting the umbilical cord. He was
yeah,
just
like, I'm
nope.
done with this.
Yeah.
I'm tired of carrying this thing around every day.
That's the hidden story. Holy crap. I never thought it in those terms before. That's the real story. It's about birth.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh
Yeah.
dude.
Abel was just the placenta.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, if that's like, I mean, you've had kids. I'm fresh to the game, but I know that there is so much material to read about how to keep them safe and what to feed them and how to feed them and how to put them to sleep.
And it's always changing too.
And it's ever changing. Have
Yeah.
you, like, what our grandparents did was completely opposite of what our parents did. And our parents did exactly the opposite of what we're doing. And it just keeps flip-flopping on what is right and what's wrong.
Right.
And they just keep coming like, well, it's working pretty good. Let's keep doing this. And then there's like my parents would like, I feel like everyone goes through this. It's like, you'll do something. And your parents are like, I don't know why you're doing that. Like, what? Well, because it's what you're supposed to do. Like, well, we didn't do that.
Right.
You're fine.
Exactly.
But there is something, I can't remember what it's called.
I'll let you smoke a pack of cigarettes when you're 5. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
it was fine. Look, I used to smoke a pack. You were in the car as a baby. You're fine. Yeah, you coughed a little bit at soccer practice, but it was fine.
Right.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. Survivor biased.
Yes.
That's the term for like anything that's been like you survived and you think it's okay, even though today they've determined it's not okay.
Right.
But you got to think there's none of this for Adam and Eve with their first kid. What the real miracle is that they survived.
Right. Exactly.
That's the real miracle of Adam and Eve, is that their kids didn't like that they survived and kept going. That's the real miracle of it all.
Yeah. So all that to say, no, they didn't have belly buttons.
Yeah, all that. Yeah. You sent us down a weird path. I'm like, oh my God, they don't have belly buttons. But how did they have kids? Holy crap. They didn't know what to do. Like,
No clue. No clue. If a vampire bites a zombie, does the zombie become a vampire, or does the vampire become a zombie?
I'm going to say the vampire becomes a zombie.
If the vampire bites the zombie?
Yeah.
See, I feel like the vampire would become a zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't think you can turn a zombie into a vampire.
Yeah. All right.
They're both already dead, technically.
Yes. But I'm looking at it as like diseases. You got one disease that like deteriorates the mind and the body slowly, or it just lets the natural decay happen, but it's bringing that thing down to a raw animalistic nature and just surviving on brains or whatever.
Right.
But a vampire is still intact. So it actually if you think about it, it actually soups up the host. While like I guess that's the difference. Zombies are deteriorating as they become zombies, and vampires actually get souped up and they can run faster, all that other stuff, but they need blood to survive.
Right.
So it's like, can vampires' immune system outweigh the zombie disease? And I'm thinking the zombie disease would win eventually.
Maybe that's how people end up defeating the vampires in the future, is by infecting them with the zombie disease.
We're creating the zombie disease.
Yeah.
So every time a human dies, they just turn into a zombie.
It could be, because I never even thought about that, but it could be that's how you could potentially defeat a zombie, or not a zombie, but a vampire, because we've gone over how to survive vampires and zombies in the past.
Nope.
But I don't remember thinking about this when we talked about how to survive vampires, but somehow injecting them with, or having some kind of virus, just, it doesn't even have to be a zombie virus, just a virus that attacks the vampires.
Yeah.
And then they go to feed off of a human or somebody, and it could just be, you could be completely asymptomatic with, as a human, and then a vampire bites you and it's deadly to them.
Yes. See, I was also thinking maybe creating, like, basically kind of like The Walking Dead, where everyone has the disease. So when you die, you turn into a zombie. But if you're alive and you're bitten, the minute you die, the zombie disease takes over before the vampire has time to amp you up. So they can't essentially reproduce.
Right.
Which is like a hell of a kamikaze way of taking out vampires.
Yeah. Because then you have to,
Like,
you're basically just ending all of civilization.
yeah, like you're sacrificing so many people, but it's a numbers game, I guess, where it's like the more we take out of them, you know, yeah, some, like, it's kind of like one of those things, like, they're gonna eat us, so at least let some of us be useful at the end.
Right.
Like, if you get caught by a vampire, at least you can do that.
But you got a lot of zombies to deal with.
Yeah.
And let's hope that they're the slow zombies, not the fast ones.
Yeah. No, fast zombies for sure are gonna destroy everything.
Speaking of going slow or speeding things up, my
Right.
my next question is, why is the objective of golf to play the least amount of golf?
Oh man, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
So that begs the argument: does the guy that is the worst golf player has the best time?
Probably.
Because if you sit by a golf course, they're usually not. They're pretty unhappy fellows. That is hilarious. The objective of golf is to not play golf.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the winner has the least amount of shots.
That's, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of them, like boxing. There's one, like, one punch, done.
Well, that you're trying to you're trying to save yourself.
Yeah.
Right. You're trying to prevent harm to yourself. But with golf, it's like, no, that's the entire goal.
Yeah.
Is to be out there less time than everybody else.
That is, yeah. I'm going to spend all this time training and doing weights and working on my accuracy, so I do the least amount on the course.
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, it sounds like a game for lazy people, really, because that's like the epitome of lazy is like, I want to do less than everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So you're training. And you're training. So you train yourself to be the best lazy person you could possibly be.
Yes. 100%.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason I like this game.
Yeah. Even better.
Yeah. No kidding.
But like, yeah, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, I like I don't know, like fishing, for example. Like, oh yeah, I like to get out on a lake, get a line wet. It doesn't really matter if I catch a fish or not. Like, I'm just getting out there and spending some time away, you know, kind of unwind and just, you know, have fun out on a lake, right?
Yeah.
But that's how a lot of people look at golf. Like, I just want to get out on the course, hit the ball around, like try and, but like, that's not the objective of the game there, sir.
Yeah. The objective is to be out there least time as possible.
That's right. Otherwise, you are failing. You are failing at golf if you're out there just having fun, just chilling on the golf course.
Man, there's something perfect to that.
All right, so my toddler he's got the ABC song down pat, right?
Yep.
So, but like we keep talking about his ABCs, and now he's like starting to like he can pick them out. Like if you show him draw a letter of something, he knows exactly what letter it is, and he's starting to be able to actually draw those letters himself.
Yeah.
But it got me thinking, as the like, why is the alphabet in the order that it's in?
Yeah.
Like, who said that that's the order that it has to be in?
Yeah.
Why can't it be in any other order? Like, it doesn't really fucking matter.
Not at all. And you know what's funny is I heard something similar to this the other day, and it made me think about this. It's funny you bring it up, and it like I was sitting going, "Oh my god!" Like there's 26 letters. Why are they in that order?
Yeah.
Like A doesn't have to be number 1.
No.
And C doesn't have to be 26. So like so technically if a cop goes, tell me your ABCs, you could go L M Q S R F F B F M N R C and just keep doing that. And
yeah.
Which, hey, kudos for me. I was doing I was just coming off the top of my head, and I realized like I'm not repeating anything. At least I don't think I did. What did I
you did.
F? Damn.
Well, this is being recorded, so we'll go back and.
Nah, we don't have to. That's fine. I don't mind getting called out. FMMR. Yeah, whatever. It sounded good at the time.
Let's review the tape. I will definitely edit that into the podcast.
Oh, that's fine. That's also what we like to call drunken confidence is what that was. That was like, man, I'm fucking amazing at this. And
I'm
like,
amazing.
Yeah, like I could do this all day. It was just, I guess I was just impressed that I was like pulling different letters out.
Right.
And I was like, man, I'm really like all over the place. And I was like, I wonder if that would work, or if the cop would be like, go ahead and step out of the car, please, sir.
Yeah.
Or,
so it was mushrooms you took. You didn't drink, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see you. Because the minute you go, hey man, why did they got to be in that order, bro? I'm like, all right, well let's go ahead and get you in the car. Do you feel like you need a hospital? Because I'm feeling whatever you took is going to take a bad turn soon.
Listen, officer, the perception of the alphabet is different to you than it is to me, man.
Yeah. That is the argument. That would be a hell of a thing to tell a judge, too. Hey, man, who said the alphabet's got to be in that order? He'd be like, and if you got like an old stoner from the 60s or something, he's like, you know what? I'll allow it. Punk.
Yeah.
Best day in court ever.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why is the alphabet in that order? I have no idea.
Yeah. Somebody like the way it rang together, I guess. I don't know.
Well, here's something that we can both relate to, having, especially you now having a little baby. Why do people say that they slept like a baby if they sleep through the night when babies are known for not sleeping through the night?
Yeah. I don't know. That's just a misperception is all that shit is. It's because they see a baby sleeping and they're like, oh, like he's got no worries in the world. He's got no weight on his shoulders. He's just enjoying life and just sleeping. I feel like that's what they really want to say. Because like hearing about 3 hours when you're like, all right, cool. I'm right in the middle of a good REM stage and I'm about to actually get a full 3 hours and my brain's about to, turn that trigger over. And you're like, whoa. And then you have to come out of a nightmare.
If anybody knew my family, they would say, oh, you're sleeping like a toddler at a family restaurant at dinner time.
Yeah.
That's Waylon almost every freaking time we go out to dinner. Falls asleep in the car on the way there, and then I have to get a booth so he can just lay there and just be completely dead to the world through the entire meal.
Dude, that sounds awesome. Like, just let him sleep, man.
Yeah, last time we did that, we went to the Oriental Walk, and they had a pillow. They put a pillow in the booth for us and just laid his head down on the pillow, and he was gone.
That's kind of adorable. And kudos to Oriental Walk, man. That's customer service.
Right.
I mean, look, it could be the opposite. I've seen people, work in restaurants. I've seen people have kids that are like way too much sugar-fied, and they're running around the restaurant. And the parents are over here at whatever booth, at booth 3, and they're just talking and eating away. And their kids over at table 49, like staring at this couple, just like, yeah. And they just like run up and down the aisles, and they're like, will someone fucking get this kid? And you can't say that to a customer as a server. But it's kind of beautiful when someone else says it to them. Yeah. Like, hey, get your fucking kid. Because I have seen that happen so many times, and it is sweet every time. And I've seen every reaction, like of the parents, like mad, understanding, offended, like people like, oh, you're just picking on me. Dude, it's wild. Like, yeah,
because there's 20 other kids running around this restaurant being a fool.
I've seen it all. Like I said, I've seen every reaction. I've seen people get angry. I've seen them get understandable. I've seen them get like, yeah, sorry. They get over and get it. I've seen people like the parents try to like, how dare you? Like, just almost they try to like play the victim. And I'm like, you're the one drinking like fucking double bourbon on the rocks, not paying a fucking attention over here. Like, why are you acting like this is all our fault for bringing it up?
Right.
Not that I ever did that, but it was always beautiful to watch.
Oh yeah.
You almost wanted to eat popcorn and just see what happens.
All right. How important do you have to be considered? How important do you have to be considered assassinated and not just murdered? Where's that line?
That's a good question. Well, all right. Here's what I would argue. You have to have a reason to be killed that is outside of just the person enjoying it. So like, Oh man, actually, after I said that, like, because now I'm like sitting there thinking, like, well, technically, if like, all right, let me step back. So if you get killed, for a reason that you aren't directly in charge of, like, because all I'm thinking about is like someone who's like, I don't know, the head of an oil company, they're about to dump like X amount of oil into the ocean or something like shit like that, or something like some crazy high up, like head of CEO country, hell, didn't the was it Haiti?
Yeah, the president of Haiti was recently assassinated.
Yeah. Like someone who dictates things, right? But like everyday people, they just get murdered. But you wouldn't say, but I was trying to say, like, if there is a reason to have murdered you, but then I was thinking, like, well, if someone snaps and they start attacking, let's say your wife, and then you kill that person in the midst of it, you didn't assassinate them,
Right.
But if they're the cause of, I guess you'd have to be the cause of things to happen, and they didn't want those things to happen.
I'm trying to think of, like, okay, so who's the most famous celebrity you can think of? Let's say actor. Who's the most famous actor you can think of?
Probably, like, I don't know, Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
maybe
like Brad Pitt, George Clooney, something like that, right?
Yeah, like somebody.
If somebody shot and killed one of those guys, would it be considered a murder or an assassination?
I think it'd be a murder.
It'd be a murder, right?
Yeah.
Like, think of John Lennon. John Lennon was murdered. He wasn't assassinated.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to have controlling interest in things that affect people, I think, to be assassinated, like government, CEOs.
Yeah, I would think that it would have to have global ramifications.
Yes.
For it to be considered an assassination.
Yeah, international butterfly effect almost.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's a good call.
Yeah, I think that's the line.
Yeah,
that's why I thought of that specifically, was because, like, the most famous LeBron James is shot and killed after his basketball game.
Yeah,
he's not assassinated.
No, unless they did it because they were in the finals.
Even then, I don't think so.
No, they wouldn't. It would still be murder.
Yeah.
But if he was LeBron James, but he also ran the city of Dubai,
if he became the governor of Chicago,
yeah, like,
or
then
something.
You're like, yeah, he got assassinated.
Yeah,
because it was politically driven. No, well, maybe.
Is that an aspect? Maybe
could be.
Definitely. Think of who. Okay, so think of, on the other side, think of who we know were quote unquote assassinated.
Well, you got,
is there anybody you can think of that's not a politician?
Oh, okay, because all I was thinking was politicians, like presidents.
And
no.
if you can't think of any person that's not a politician, then maybe that's the line. Maybe it has to be a political thing.
Maybe it does, because there's been a lot of assassination attempts on people, and maybe it is politically driven. Then the fact that, like, to be assassinated, you would have to, I guess, affect people's lives.
It sounds like you have to be a politician.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have to be a politician. To be assassinated. Life goals.
Yeah. Like, that's good to know. I'll never be assassinated.
Yeah. Me neither. I'll never be a politician.
Yeah. No, it ain't going to happen.
No. Mostly thank you to this podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. This is just one bad thing after another.
Okay. So speaking of our success.
Yeah.
If you're trying to fail and you succeed, did you fail or did you succeed?
If you're trying to fail and you succeed, did you fail or did you succeed? I mean, you succeeded at failing.
But does that make it a failure or a success?
I guess it's you know what? I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it was the first success.
Well, let's break it down. Let's break it down into like something very specific, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say I want to snap a twig in half. That's
Yeah.
the goal. But I want to fail, right? I'm trying to fail at snapping the twig in half.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to try and bend it instead of breaking it in half. The objective is to snap it in half, but I'm trying to fail, right?
Yeah.
I go and I start bending it and boom, it snaps in half. So I succeeded at the object, but I failed at trying to fail.
Yeah.
So is that a success or a failure?
Well, it just matters if your life revolves around inner peace or demanded work.
At the end of the day, the twig still snapped in half, so I would have to call it a success.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Like if you break it down to something specific like that,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, it's still a success.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Glass is half full, buddy. All right. So, this being a podcast, we basically do all of our shit through the audio, through the ears, but try very hard to imagine that you were born without the sense of hearing. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you're born deaf, okay? What do you hear when you think about things? Because right now, when I'm thinking about something, I hear my own voice in my head. Basically, I hear my own voice in my head when I think. When I'm thinking thoughts, those thoughts come through as almost verbiage in my head.
Yep.
But if you've never heard anything before in your life, then how do you perceive thoughts?
That is a good ass question. I don't know. I actually think maybe they would still perceive thoughts as voices, just not.
But how? It's like the Adam and Eve question. They've never heard a voice before in their life. They don't know what voice is.
Yeah, but it's but here's the thing, like they can read, they can sign, they know what things mean. I just could not
Do they
imagine.
think maybe they think through sign language? Like maybe they're mentally thinking of somebody signing something.
I mean, could be. That definitely could be. Huh.
Or they're imagining, say, they're very good at Braille. Maybe they're imagining like what it feels like to run their finger across certain words in Braille.
See, I don't know. I still think like I bet you they unknowingly hear the voice, but they don't know that that is the same as what it sounds like.
I don't know, man. I don't think they do. I think this might be where we disagree.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, you got me on like a weird fence because like I know people like if people speak a different language, they think in that language. Like Spanish people think in Spanish, right? Like, you know, French speak in French in their own head. But
yeah, I'm almost fluent in Spanish, but when I'm speaking in Spanish, a lot of the time, most of the time, I'm thinking it in English, translating it in my head from English to Spanish, and then saying it.
Yeah, as most people do.
But that's the thing. Like I've never. So you got to think of like a sense that you don't have. Like I don't even know. Like they're like it's something that they don't have, that they've never had, that they've never learned, they've never even experienced ever. How could they think that then? Like think in those terms then, if it's something that they've never even experienced.
You know what? The next time I run into a deaf person, I swear I'm going to ask them this.
Yeah, we got to find one that's been deaf though from birth.
All right. That actually might be harder than you think, because like most people lose their hearing later. Like there's a woman that lives literally catty corner to my parents' house. She's been deaf, I think, since she was like 9 or 10. But her husband was, I think, either born deaf or went deaf at like age 1. Like that's usually when it happens, is because back in the day there was like an inner ear thing that happened that like with a lot of kids, and like it got infected and they lost their hearing because of it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was more frequent. But we've learned how to like prevent it since then, so it's decreased, but I mean it still happens, but in other ways obviously. But
if you're listening to this podcast and you know somebody who has been deaf since birth, ask them this question and then email us at soberlessthoughts@gmail.com.
Yes,
so that we can finally get to the bottom of this heart-wrenching question.
Yeah, that one's gonna bug me. That's gonna keep me up at night. I can already tell.
All right. The last one that I had wrote down here was if I took a ship and replaced all of its parts until none of the original parts are intact anymore, is it the same ship or a completely different ship? And then ship can be obviously exchanged out for a car and all kinds of other things.
Oh yeah, no, I was sitting here thinking that because I've been trying to work on my 89 Jeep Wrangler, and I was thinking the same thing the other day. Like if I switch out the frames and the axles and is it the same car? And I'm not gonna lie, when you first said ship, I thought you said shit. I was like, if you take a shit, I'm like, I'm with you.
If you took a shit
and you replaced all the shit with other shit, is it still the same shit? It still works. No, but if you had a ship and you placed all the pieces, I mean, if it's in the same, man, I mean, it's yes and no. It's one of those, because it's like it is the same ship because it's the exact same dimensions and all that, but it's like retro, or it's like revamped. It's like I just saw this on Instagram or whatever the other day, but I saw the sneakerhead thing. It was like whatever Jordans they were showing, and they're like, these are the original Jordans from whatever year. And then if you started to like switch out all the pieces with the Jordan that came out like 10 years ago, which is different, but that you swapped out all the pieces, eventually you would just have the new Jordans.
Right. So then you wouldn't have. So then it'd be different.
Yeah, so it would be different. So yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying. It's different.
It's different. So you know that you shed your skin as a human being.
Yeah.
And I forget how long it is, but I think it's once you're an adult, I think it's like every 10 years, roughly, you have completely new skin on you that you did not have on you 10 years ago.
Nice.
So then you technically are a different person.
Yeah.
According to what you're.
I totally agree with that. Every 10 years is right on the money, man. Because like, if you talk to me at 26 to now, like, yeah, I'm a completely different person.
Oh yeah, I agree with that too.
Yeah. Like 15 to 25 to 35. It is vastly different. Way different.
Way different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are physically a different person.
Yeah.
You just have the same. You do have the same DNA makeup.
Yep.
And you have the same fingerprints.
That's right.
But technically, you are all new skin. Like you're all new. You're like from head to toe, everything on you is new from 10 years ago.
So you're telling me 10, 20, 30, because that's 10 years, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So not only should you celebrate your birthday, you should celebrate a new beginning because your skin is new.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be my birthday cake on my next.
Well, it's not just like skin, it's your hair, like your nails, like everything on you.
Yeah.
From head to everything that you can physically see has been shedded and is now new on your body.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all the questions I had.
That's it. No, that's good.
Yeah.
Wait for the rebirth.
Yeah. I think we did a good job.
Yeah. No, that was solid.
Yeah. I think we burnt through those pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Got some good answers. If anybody else had those same questions, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
But now you know the answers to those questions, or at least our version of the answer.
And if you got better answers, let us know.
Definitely let us know. Hit us up on our email, which we stated earlier, soberlessthoughts@gmail.com. You can DM us on social media on Instagram at Soberless Thoughts and Facebook at Soberless Thoughts. You could send us a DM on Twitter, where you can find us at Think Soberless, or just search Soberless Thoughts. If you want to check out all of our old podcasts, you can find those at soberlessthoughts.com or at any of these podcast catchers. Is that what they call them? Podcatchers?
No, but that's what they should be called.
I think I heard that recently, though.
Oh, yeah.
A podcatcher.
Sounds like a podcast groupie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those are the people who listen to our podcast.
Yeah, right.
Our soberless thinkers out there.
That's right.
Yeah. So find us at any of those at Soberless Thoughts, or at soberlessthoughts.com, where all of our old previous episodes are. Rate, review, share with friends, neighbors, family members, alcoholics, soberless people. Dude, did I tell you that somebody who was an ex alcoholic? No, what sober? Their profile was like sober in Seattle or something.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sober in Seattle. And they friended us on Instagram. And I sent them a message like, why did you friend request us?
Yeah.
We promote being drunk.
Yeah. A lot.
And they're like, oh, I didn't actually look at your page. My bad. It was a mistake. It was a mistake.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We all make mistakes.
That's all right. But yeah. So tell your friends and your neighbors and your pet alligators. I was gonna prank you guys at your old apartment one time. Yeah. And I had everything for it and was about to get in my car and drive down there. And Mandy stopped me. But I was going to set up a video camera and start recording it, like on that little ledge that was across from your door.
Oh, yeah.
And just have it like recording your front door. And then I was going to come over and set like one beer bottle on the ground right in front of the door, like knock on the door like the police. Burn, burn, burn. And then you'd come down to open the door and I'd be like hiding somewhere. And you'd open the door and there'd just be one beer bottle unopened, like Corona sitting there.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? And then what would you do?
I don't know. I don't even know if I'd pick it up. I'd just look at it and probably close the door.
Right. So and that's what I assumed you would probably do. So then I would go over after I'd wait a couple minutes. I'd go over and set a second beer bottle down. Bang, bang, bang. And then you come. And then there'd be two bottles when you opened it. And I would just keep doing that throughout the night until all 6 beer bottles are sitting there on the ground.
That would be pretty good. That was pretty solid.
I was like, and I'm gonna capture it all on video, and then I'm gonna post it on our social media, and I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed to do it. All right, Alex, what do we say when we get out of here?
We like to say when you're in the skillet, you need to stay cheesy, keep it greasy, and flip on out.
I wrote this song in the south of France. Fancy, right? But we had been doing a bunch of shows. I think we did like 28 shows in 30 days in Europe. And, oh man, I don't like looking at myself on TV. I look like E.T.'s weird older brother. I was just tired, so I wrote this song. I've been working on a night train, drinking coffee, taking cocaine. I'm mighty on my night train, trying to get us safely home. Well, in a little country station, somewhere out in the Midwest, I see the people out there waiting, heart beating in my chest. Well, I'm thinking about a woman who I put no one above. I'm not looking to replace her, just need someone to love. I've been living in the city where the noise it never stops. Hammers pounding on the pavement, whistles from traffic cops. Nobody looks you in the eye here, walking around with clenched fists. I've been searching for a simple place, don't know if it exists. Sunrise out there calling on my name. I can see her moving, I can see her moving. Well, at a certain time of night now, I become one with the wind. Where there is no beginning, Lord, there is no end. Oh, and everything is flowing, everything is on time. Now I know that we're all going to the end of the line. And I'm out here on my night train, drinking coffee, taking cocaine. Well, I'm out here on my night train, trying to get her safely home. I'm out here on my night train, drinking coffee, taking cocaine. I'm out here on my night train, trying to get her safely home, safely home. Thank you.